Public CEO Report is a podcast that provides insights about the public sector and public policy for the benefit of decision makers and leaders powering our communities. I'm your host, Ryder Todd Smith, and today we're joined by Meghan McKelvey, the Senior Manager of Department and Membership Services at the League of California Cities, otherwise known as Cal Cities. Meghan, welcome to the Public CEO Report.
Thank you, Ryder. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I am thrilled to have you. You're always so full of vim and vigor and entertaining, and you've been in the local government world for a chunk of time, and you have a lot of wisdom and insights to share. So I'm really honored to be able to share a podcast with you today.
Thank you so much. I actually just celebrated my 18th year here at Cal Cities, February 1st.
That is amazing.
Is that mind-blowing?
Yeah, must have really good water there at Cal Cities because you look very young.
Well, I did start when I was 13.
Oh, well, you know, if that's what it takes for Cal Cities to get the right talent at that young age, like go for it, whatever it takes, man.
I know, right? Recruiting young.
How did you find yourself working at Cal Cities?
Yeah, so my very first job actually was at a lifeguard for the city of Lompoc. So I really early on loved local government and cities. Eventually, after undergrad, I moved up to Sacramento, did some time in the capital, and everyone kept talking about Cal Cities. And this job 18 years ago for the ledge secretary, we don't even have that job anymore, opened up. I applied. And Dan Carrick took a chance on me, and that's how I got here. And I just kept moving my way up and falling in love with our members. And it's been such a great career here. I have many roles and responsibilities, but it is our members that keep me here. And of course, our internal staff.
Yeah, that's, first of all, amazing. Number two, I appreciate your hometown. Did you grow up in Lompoc?
I did grow up in Lompoc.
Yes, not to be named Lompoc.
Correct. Lompoc.
I did a community forum there one time, and I had to be corrected by the audience. And I got corrected prior to, and then I made a point of emphasizing it as I was presenting to the audience to get it proper. Well, that's a good chunk of time, and you're through that time. You've weaved your way through various roles, but I've always known you as kind of the queen bee of the city manager department. Is that which seems like that's been for a long time?
I have actually been with the city managers for about 17, 18 years. So they were my very first department. I went in knowing nothing about city managers. And it was a great education to learn not only what their profession is, but really learn about the inner workings of a city. So I do credit a lot of my city managers, and especially my presidents. You know, Kevin Duggan was my first president for the department, followed by Ken Pulskamp. So I really have had some really great city managers around me and supporting me. But now I manage almost all of our departments here at Cal Cities and member groups, everyone except for police chiefs and our city attorneys. So I jokingly say I can't really get in trouble because I don't have public safety behind me, but I do know how to fill a pothole because I work with Public Works.
When AI takes over and eliminates all white collar jobs, you will have backup plans for your pothole filling days in the remainder of your career.
I know. Maybe I'm a robot now.
That could explain how you have such great conference stamina.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what is the CM department? What's that all about? I mean, because primarily Cal Cities, to be fair, is a function of the it's led by elected leaders of city government, city council members, mayors, whatnot. But there is this department, as there are for several areas, there is this department of city managers. What's the role of that city manager department?
Yeah, so our city managers department is dedicated to city managers, assistant city managers, and deputy city managers. And we have all 8 or 9 of our departments are spaced out like how they are in a city. So we have everyone from city clerks to public works. But city managers are a place where city managers can come together, network, be educated, and ultimately help the Cal Cities based on their profession.
So, Meghan, as we talked about, the Cal Cities is led by elected leaders of local governments throughout the state of California. Departments themselves actually have some leadership who helps guide guide the folks, and there's some governance within the division. So tell me a little bit about the governance for the city manager department and who's in charge these days.
Thank you, Ryder. So this year, our president is Kelly McAdoo, city administrator of Santa Barbara, and she is great. And then we have, for our president-elect, we have Chris Freeland, who is the city manager of Indian Wells. And then we have Marikeisha Smith, who is the new city manager of Sacramento, as well as Karen Pincos, who is our department director. She is the city manager from El Cerrito. And our past president, last but not least, is Thaddeus, who is our city manager from Lakewood. So we have a great group of officers, a great group of at-large members. And they are going, you'll see them all throughout the conference. They not only are moderating sessions, but if you have any questions about how to get involved with the department or Cal Cities, they will be on hand to answer those questions as well as myself.
Awesome. That is a great pantheon of city management leadership throughout the state of California.
We've been very lucky with this department to have great leadership. Actually, and fun fact, if you would like to know, is we're going to be doing a past president photo on the first day, and Dave Mora was one of our past presidents from 1991 to 1992. He is going to be our more mature past president at the conference, followed by Kevin O'Rourke, who was in 97 to 98. So we've had a lot of good presidents who are still around.
And it seems to me that city managers are often also the ones that are helping you advance legislative priorities for the league as well. Legislative priorities set by elected officials, but the execution work of getting together support letters, things like that, comes through a lot of the city manager efforts, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yes. Every council is a little bit different, but definitely the city managers do help the council members and vice versa, help advance our legislative platform. Yeah. You can't have one without the other. That's what makes the relationship so special and unique.
That is true, 100% true. And you now have, so the league does conferences focused on these various specialty groups. And one of the ones that's, I know just from my experience, is the most popular, in addition, of course, the league's annual conference, which draws thousands and thousands of people and is always an amazing event. I mean, anybody who wants to be in local government in California is going to typically be trying to show up or participate somehow in that annual conference. But the league city manager department meeting is also a pretty big deal, and that's coming up here shortly. So, I guess maybe what's the primary purpose of having a city manager conference itself, and how does that kind of help city managers statewide?
Yeah, first, this is probably one of our top 3 attended conferences. This is a time where city managers, assistants, and deputies come together, not only to get educated, but also network, spend time with each other, sharing resources, and learning. So everything that they're going to learn at our conference, either through networking or education, hopefully they take it back to their cities and they can implement it. Because as you know, Ryder, having strong cities equal a strong state. So it's really geared towards our city managers. And that's what the focus is, just like our other conferences.
And so when you think about kind of support for city councils that are sending their city managers off to this conference, which, as you know, is very popular.
Yeah.
My observation is, if you are having a leading executive in your organization, you want them to operate as effectively as possible for you. You need them to go to this conference or it helps them anyways, to go to this conference and learn best practices and talk to their peers and come back to the agency with ideas that can help the council achieve its goals and improve their communities.
Exactly. And, for all of our cities, this is one time where cities from small, rural, big, urban, all get together in one room and can really network with each other and learn from each other.
Yeah. I've seen it happen over many a plate of eggs and conference bacon.
I know. How many conferences have you been to with city managers? You're a staple.
I want to say this is probably my 17th city manager conference, maybe 17 or 15.
Oh my gosh, it's our anniversary, 17 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was my mentor, Frank Tripepi, one of my mentors, Frank Tripepi.
Yes.
who himself was a city manager for 28 years, was good about urging me to make sure I stay connected with the city manager community and urging me to participate. So I'm trying to think, one of my earliest days was, of course, in Monterey, because it goes there quite often, or it has in the past. It was a tremendous experience. It was just phenomenal to kind of have my eyes opened and meet all these great people, and just like you, learn a ton about local government through the eyes of city managers. It's a great position to be in, where, I mean, in your case, you have hundreds and hundreds of city managers that kind of participate through the city manager department. And as a result, you get access to hundreds and hundreds of city managers to learn from and hear their ideas and hear the challenges they're facing and things like that. It must give you a lot of tremendous wisdom about what's going on in local government.
You know, for as long hours that it is, because, you know, we put a lot of stuff into that conference. Our members always, you know, they really use their time wisely. I am so invigorated afterwards, because it allows me to talk to so many individual members about what is going on with your city. How can you get involved more with Cal Cities? What's going on with your council? So as a membership services standpoint, it is gold. I really enjoy these conferences, all conferences that I go to, because it's different when people get to take a second and leave work and really focus on a session and talking about it afterwards. Yeah, it's really impactful. And I think that what gives me the energy to keep going for the 18 years, is seeing how much this means to our members. I'm actually curious, in that structuring of you taking over all these other departments, are you still the queen bee of the city manager department, or do you have a right-hand person that's helping you? Is there a new Meghan McKelvey at the city manager department? Ryder, there'll never be another Meghan.
I know there are no shoes big enough in the world.
We do actually have a membership services team here, and I'm very grateful for my team. They provide great member services to all of our departments. It is so nice when I get to see a city manager and they said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that Isaac helped me out." And, you know, and it's us preparing the next generation and hearing all the good stuff that they're doing. Because I'm going to let you on a secret, Ryder. I'm not going to be around forever.
What?
And yes, Cal Cities has been here for over 150 years. We need to continue to be here for another 150 years. And it's just really important for our members that we get the next generation of people to support them, because of all the good work that they do. Cal Cities needs to be just as good as them, and I think we do it.
Yeah. Well, understand, you got to make that investment in the future generation, but obviously you have tremendous institutional knowledge with your history, which is great.
Thank you.
So we're in Napa. I say we, because I'm heading to Napa. You're heading to Napa. All the cool kids will be in Napa next week for the city manager conference. I think by the time this airs, we might be saying this week for the conference. How many people are at this conference? It's sold out, right?
Every year we sell out. So city managers, we let you register a couple of weeks before everyone else. Please take advantage of that. I cannot say that enough. We have 700 people and over 50 sponsors attending this conference in Napa.
Yeah,
that is a lot of city managers.
Yeah, it is. And that's a lot of people. 700. Is that, I'm trying to think if that's record for this conference, or
it's sold out. I think it's up there. We sell out every year.
The last time I was reminiscing, the last time we were at this particular facility, which is the Meritage in Napa, it was actually 2020. And so it was early February.
I know.
It was just like 2 weeks before pandemic lockdowns and the big event. And I remember we were all kind of buzzing a little bit about it at the conference, and we were kind of murmuring, but it wasn't real at that point. So it's interesting now to be back 6 years later.
Yeah, let's not repeat that.
I know. I agree.
Riva Feldman was my president at that time for the department, and she did a great job. But yeah, let's not repeat that. Let's come away pandemic free from Napa.
That's the first goal of the conference.
Yeah, that's the first rule in this conference.
What are the big themes? What are we talking about at this conference?
You know, we don't really have one theme, but what we do have is we have a little bit for everyone. We have, if you are into relationship buildings, smooth council meetings, to what can you do with surplus land and how can you build affordable houses, to a session on rural and small cities, AI, disaster communication. We have a little bit from in every genre, from personal to professional, to really help with the whole city manager.
That The program has always been excellent. That's a wide range of items.
Yeah.
You have these days the obligatory AI panel, which is, I would argue, still important, even if it shows up at every conference. But the reality is, if you blink for 2 weeks, there's going to be something new in the AI world. And so having that as a constant topic, I think, is super important. And I'm also, I will admit, I have bias on this, but Alexis Gillen, who I get the opportunity to do a bunch of work with, is also going to be at the conference as well. And so it'll be fantastic for her to be able to share her insights and wisdoms and speak on that panel.
Yeah, AI is a hot topic across all of our departments.
Yeah.
So it's good to stay ahead. We also have some really good general sessions too. We have Simon Sinek, who will be speaking at our opening session. Do you know
wow.
Simon? Yeah. It'll be great. And then we have Jenny Evans, who's also going to be a keynote about talking about resilience and being stress proof.
Something city managers should appreciate, how to be stress proof.
And then we're going to end with the Rose Institute, their survey on Friday. So we have, go ahead.
I was just going to say, actually, I was probably remiss in not mentioning that one too. I actually have the honor of serving as the chairman of the board of the Rose Institute. So I'm super interested in them sharing their census data results on their survey of our census of the profession.
Yeah, I think it will be good. And then also we do have a session for assistant city managers, women in local government. We have some great roundtables on the last day that members will love to participate in, from women leading government to we're also going to have a roundtable with our senior advisors.
So a lot of these sessions that you've described are very pragmatic solutions, from what I can tell. Fundamentally, this is not ivory tower policy. This is like down in the dirt, dealing with actual scenarios, or dealing with management issues, or dealing with kind of professional, like day-to-day professional realities. And I sense that that's one of the key things here, is that this is a booster course for city managers and how to more effectively execute on the work that they do every day.
I think so. I think you nailed it. We have to remember the city manager profession is pretty stressful. It takes a special type of person who has the temperament to do it. They are both managing a city and department heads, and they're also working with the council and creating all these relationships to make a city run. So I think that that's the beauty of our conferences, is to have members come together, talk about real timely issues, and get some type of resolution that they can take back, or switch it so it does work for their city, because there's not one size fits all, but it's that connection and learning resources, so hopefully they can do something for their city.
What's one thing most city managers don't know about you?
Oh, yes, Ryder. Let's
put you on the spot.
Let's sit crooked and talk straight. One thing that city managers probably don't know about me. Well, one thing I hope they do know is I really do love my job, and it has been beyond my wildest dreams to work with them and the rest of the departments, in all sincerity. But one thing they probably don't know about me is I am a not so secret quilter. Yes, you heard it here first. Do you have t-shirts? Do you have fabric? I'm quilting that. It's like a hug I leave behind. I long arm quilts. I love it. I have to be careful about how many quilts I keep. So yeah, I love quilting.
That sounds very therapeutic. That sounds like that's how you deal with your stress.
It is, and it's quilts are like memories. In our business, what we do is a lot of relationship building, but we leave behind memories. And I think that that's what makes our life worth it and joyful. Just like conferences, every conference, I have great memories that I can laugh about, when things go right, when things go wrong. And I think that that's why I love quilting, is you're leaving behind a memory and a little bit of something for you. Now, Ryder, what is one thing that city managers don't know about you? turning the table.
But the problem is I talk about myself a lot, so they pretty much know everything.
Not one thing. I don't think people know about your fishing past.
That's true. So yes, I guess I'll having you promised you were going to try to turn this into an interview of me, so I'll indulge you in this in the
Let's
back
just
and
have
forth.
fun. Yes.
Yes. So it is indeed the case. I am the son of a fisherman out of Alaska. I had the joy of fishing in the Gulf of Alaska and out the Aleutian chain and catching halibut, black cod, and gray cod on a 65-foot wooden schooner built in the 1920s. My dad was the captain and the boat owner. And I would stand out there with up to my neck in oilskins and with a knife in my hand and fillet out fish and throw them in the hold and jump down the hold and pack them full of ice. And hopefully we'd come to shore with 40 or 50,000 pounds of fish and sell it in the fish market and make some money and go out and do it again. It was summertime work, but it was very real. I will just put it that way.
Yeah.
It was very real. Now, I did not go on to be a fisherman, which my dad was okay with. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure part of him would have loved it, but I do cherish every day the memories I had of being out on the fishing boat and having that experience with my dad. It was very meaningful.
Do you still watch, do you watch Deadliest Catch, or is it you're like too real?
No, it's
Too
not too
close.
real. It's not too real. I do watch it. It's a great show. Deadliest Catch is particularly, at the risk of now really going off on a tangent, is particularly interesting in that it's crab fishing, which is primarily kings and opilio crab out there in that very dangerous area. And crab fishing is particularly dangerous, A, because the season is during the winter when the storms are worst typically, and B, the nature of crab boats with their cages sitting on top of the deck, those cages get very top heavy. And the reason why they get really top heavy is when it's freezing out and the ocean spray comes up on the boat, it lands on those cages and the salt water freezes on the cages. And then the cages get heavier and heavier and heavier. And if you don't go out with baseball bats and knock the ice off, your boat flips over and then people die. So it's the boats have gotten bigger, they have more safety, but it's the reason. There's a lot of reasons why it's the deadliest catch, and one of them has to do with time of year and the nature of how you actually fish crab or catch them in those giant pots. Never mind having a 700-pound pot flowing around this deck while you're rolling in 30-foot seas, and you get sideswiped by the bars on the cage, and you're gone, right? So it's all very dangerous.
It's so interesting. Now, when you think about like grabbing crab at Costco, you're like, you should really think about the people who have caught this.
Yeah, they put themselves at risk. Although, I mean, anywhere they're typically putting themselves at risk, but particularly up in that part of the world, it's a big risk. It's a big risk. So,
well, Ryder, second question for you before we get started again. What is your spirit animal?
Oh, you've got me flat-footed. I have no idea what my spirit animal is. That's a great question. My default is to like think of my 12-pound little fluff ball of a dog that I have named Annie.
There you go.
Because she's quite lovely and fun. So, but I also like a bald eagle, to be fair, because America.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can do it.
Mine's a Wolverine.
Actually, and a swan. So maybe here it is. My real spirit animal, Sam the Eagle from the Muppet Show. That is my spirit animal.
What? Not the eagles from Big Bear Lake or Big Bear? Yeah, Big Bear Lake.
Well, they are precious and sadly just recently lost their eggs, as I understand it, to some
ravens.
Crows. Yes, sad.
That was my favorite pastime last year, is watching the started off with 3 little eaglets to being 2.
Yes. So I'm just having visions of you sitting at home sipping tea, quilting, and watching eagles grow.
You're not wrong. We put it on the big screen and we watched it, and when we got home at night, I would go backwards to during the day so I could watch them.
You want the instant replay?
You're not wrong. It's a great life.
My only other string of thought I wish to share along this line of discussion of quilting is, do you know Eric Figueroa is quilt adjacent? Okay. Former city manager Martinez for the audience. Now retired.
Eric Figueroa's wife is they have her company is Fig Tree.
Yep.
She is like a star in the quilting business. She has her own line of fabric. She has, I think, her own patterns and she does her own quilting classes. And she's like, yeah, she's a rock star.
She is. She's quilting famous.
She is quilting
She's quilting
famous.
famous.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad I'm sure this podcast is going to get tagged by AI and all the quilters are going to suddenly surge up in their audience reach and then suddenly we're going to have a bunch of quilters learning about local government. It's going to be amazing.
It is. It's going to be really amazing. I like that you unknowingly did a serger joke for our quilters out there. That is a machine. That's a sewing machine.
Megan, going back to how people can get a hold of you, you said they can find you on the website. What is the URL for that website?
Yeah, it's calcities.org, and you can find our Instagram, our X, all the ways to get in contact with Cal Cities there, including my information.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, and that's today's report. My thanks to Megan for joining us. From the whole Public CEO team and myself, Ryder Todd Smith, thank you for your time. We hope you learned something new and inspiring that will help you in your public service. Remember, Public CEO has a daily newsletter that is free to those who sign up at PublicCEO.com. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Public CEO Report. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing across all of our platforms so you never miss out on this great content. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon Music.